Hi, ¿cómo están? Feliz Navidad, feliz Nochebuena, Noche de Paz. Yo estoy aquí un poco tarde haciendo los tamales porque me fui a comprar unas cosas y se me hizo un poquito tarde, así que apenas voy a continuar con la tamalada que voy a hacer sola. Ya cocí el chile, ya cocí el pollo, le quité el hueso y lo desmenucé y ya estoy guisando el chile. Les voy a enseñar cómo lo hago. So I'm going to show you what I did to start making my chile for the tamales. I like to make my tamales out of chicken. So I already cooked my chicken last night. Like I told you, I added the chicken, some salt, some garlic, and some onion. And so while that was boiling, it was done. I shut it off. And this morning, I took off the bones and I shredded the chicken. So now I have it right here shredded, and now I made the chile. I wanted to show you the chile that I showed you, that dried chile from New Mexico. It's like that strand that you see up there on my right here. They sell that in bags. Mine is just decorative because I like having that there. But it's that type of chile. So I boiled that, and once it was boiled, I took it to the blender and I added some garlic cloves, some salt, and some cumin, comino. So I'm gonna show you what I did. So I left some to mix so that I could show you. Here is the broth that is left that I'm gonna use to make my dough. Con este caldito de pollo voy a amasar. I added the chile. So what I did was, once it was cooked, I put it in here. Let me see if you can see. I put it in here. Then I added some cloves of garlic. And I'm just estimating. I never hardly measure. A little bit of salt and some ground cumin. Let me see. My phone is on the blink, so I don't have my phone to record this better. But let me see. So I'm adding a little bit of cumin, and then I'm gonna mix it up. It gets pretty loud, but I'm gonna see if I could talk over it, because then what I did is I took some lard, put some lard in my pan. Then I added the chile so I could cook it. And this is where I'm going to mix the chicken so that it's ready to be put in the corn husks once I make the masa. Can you run this? What's that? I'm also already softening the corn husks in my clean sink. So I took corn husks and I separated them, and they're gonna be ready for me to use in a little bit. So what I am going to do, and this is my steamer for my tamales that I've had for years, and my mama's recipe right here. Anyway, let me see if you can see this. So there is, and on this back pot, I've got some beans going, so we can make some rice and beans and make it a full meal. And I may even make some fresh tortillas for the meal. So then I will add the chicken to the chile and let it boil and heat up a little bit. So once that I'm going to pick up the heat a little bit. So once that gets red and hot and bubbly, I can shut it off and wait for the masa. Okay, so that's how I make my prepare my meat to stuff my tamales. Okay. Let me see. So I think that chile is done, but I'm not gonna use it because I think I have enough. So I can save it for another batch or make enchiladas or something. So now what I'm gonna do is take us to the table again so that you can see. This is where I will put my tamales once they're full. So what I am going to do is to put maseca. This is a special cornmeal. So I'm going to start with about 3/4 of the bag. Then I add, I don't know, about a tablespoon of salt, a little bit of baking powder, not a lot, maybe a half a tablespoon. Mix up the dry ingredients. And then I'm going to work in my lard. So this is also an estimate. So I know this is not the healthiest meal, but the more lard it has, the richer it is. So I think we're going to splurge tonight. So then I'm gonna cut through it with my hands to cut the lard, work it into the cornmeal and the baking powder and the salt. And once that's worked in, then I bring the broth. Then I will do 1 or 2 tamales to show you how I do them so that you don't have to take and watch me do the whole batch, because that's going to take a while. So I'm going to do the best I can to finish them tonight. My daughter next door is making cheese and chili ones. Está haciendo los de queso con rajas, mi hija enseguida con su hija. So we're going to have those tonight, and these will be for tomorrow. So it looks like the lard is pretty mixed in. So I'm going to bring the broth and start mixing it. So what I'm going to do, because it's a little bit hot, is put it on the chair. I'm going to put this rag on the chair because I know it's going to be hot. Then I am going to pour some of it in here and work it in. It's not too hot, so I can put my hands into it. So all I'm doing is kneading it so the water, the broth, absorbs. Le puse el caldito de pollo a la masa con el sal y la manteca y la sal. No está muy caliente, así que puedo amasarlo con la mano. Está medio aguado, así que puedo echarle más seca la demás. So it needs a little bit more because it's a little runny. So now I just work this in. And it's supposed to be a soft, smooth consistency so that when I put it on the corn husk, it's easy to manage and it stays on easily and it doesn't dry up or curl off the husk. So there's a certain consistency that you have to look for. There's still some of the dry dough underneath, so I have to pump pretty deep. I like to taste the masa to see if it has enough salt. Tastes pretty good. So I can add some broth later, but what I'm going to do now, I'm going to rinse off this bowl that I've had so I don't have so many dishes. I always have my dishwater ready so I don't leave a huge mess by the time I'm done. I kind of clean as I go. So then I'm draining the corn husks and bringing them over so they can be close. They're already soft. So then I can begin to try to put these on the corn husk. So it looks like the meat is ready. So some people like to put some chile on here. So I'm going to take another bag set the pan. So the meat is ready, and what I do is if I see that the corn husk is too big, si la hoja está muy grande, le arranco pedazos, and then these I can use to make a little ball so I can tent up my the tamales. What people like to do is if there's too much chile, you can put some on the masa to dye it red and give it a little more flavor. So I like to strain this and use some of the chile for that. So I'm just gonna do it like this for now. Mix it in. And then what I do is I take a clump. I'm gonna see if the masa is smooth enough. If it feels like it's dry, it looks like it could use a little more broth because it's breaking up a little bit. But this is how I spread it. And you don't do this part, esa parte no se hace. Then you take your meat and you put it on the edge of the tamal. Let me see if you can see. On the edge right here. So that way when you fold it to wrap it, it's the first thing that goes wrapped in. So then on the seam you fold and then you place. So I will place on this pan until I have lots. And then I will transfer them over to my steamer. I'll transfer them over to the steamer. Okay? So that's how I do the tamales. So I'm gonna stop here. Aquí voy a dejarlos porque ya vieron el proceso. Yo voy a seguir embarrando, llenando y haciendo los tamales. And when I get ready to put them in the steamer, I'll show you how I arrange those. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I know a lot of people make these and they make them their own way. I just wanted to share it with those of you that don't make tamales so that if you want to try, you have an idea of what the process is. Okay, I'm gonna let you go while I keep working a little at a time as I listen to some Christmas music and just sit here and enjoy the evening. All right, los veo después. Voy a ver qué tantos tamales hago. Voy a sentarme aquí a gozar de la serenidad de la Nochebuena y música navideña y reflexionar y dar gracias por el nacimiento de nuestro Señor. Nos vemos al ratito cuando ya esté los tamales y antes de que los ponga en la olla les vuelvo a enseñar la siguiente parte. I will show you the second part once I am done. So I'll see you, if not today, tomorrow morning. But probably today because I need to finish. Okay, see you in a little while. Merry Christmas and have a peaceful, marvelous, magical Christmas Eve. Oh, silent night. Okay, enjoy.